We're going to start with your elevator. So imagine the pelvic floor and the doors of the lift, they're closing from side to side. You're going to lift to the first floor, the second, and to the third floor. You're going to hold at the top. You can feel the hip bones almost coming in. They're holding at the top. Your jaws relaxed. Keep breathing. And we're going to bring it back down to the second, to the first, and to the ground floor. Release the pelvic floor. The bottom muscles should remain relaxed. Breath in again. As we breathe out, consciously close the pelvic floor, the back, the middle, and the front, to the first, to the second, to the third floor. Lift it up and hold it at the top. You're going to count for 5 breaths here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to release it down to the second, to the first, and to the ground floor. Okay, our next one, guys, we're going to do the zip. So we're going to imagine the zip is closing from the back passage. So consciously close the back passage, then close the middle, the front. Feel that zip as it comes all the way up to your tummy button. So the zip's tight, but you're still breathing. The ribs are down, the shoulders are down, you're breathing. Normally, hold it there, and then just release the zip, feeling the pelvic floor release all the way to the bottom. And one more time. So consciously close the back passage, the middle and the front. The zip goes all the way up to the tummy button, so those hips are coming close together. Hold it there. Keep breathing. And then release that zip. Okay, let's do our fast twitch muscle fibers. So the jellyfish first, so we pulse, 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 pulse. It's really strange. It feels quite tiring. Keep going. And you'll feel that pulse just doesn't have the same effect after a while, so release it. Let's do it again. So fast, 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 fast. Gets tired, so mine's now gone, and then release. Onto your emergency stop, lift as 1 and release. Lift as high as you can and release. Lift and release. Lift and release. And lift and release. One more, lift and release. Okay, guys. Staying there, so I want you really to sit up and see if you can have a little look at my tummy as I do this. So I want you to, I just want to show you the incorrect way of doing I'm wondering if you can see it, incorrect way of doing a sit-up. So lots of, I'll just turn around, lots of postnatal, when you look at lots of postnatal exercises, they say very much to avoid doing any kind of crunches. Don't do crunches, don't. But what do you do every time you get out of bed? Every time you get up off a settee, you're crunching the abdominals. So I want to teach you the correct way to do it, to engage and brace the abdominal muscles and work with and lift the pelvic floor so that you can come back to crunches. So it's a very old-fashioned way of saying don't do them, you know, but we need to learn how to do them properly so that if you go, when you go back to your normal classes, that you know that you're doing it correctly. So when I come to do a crunch, if I do it incorrectly, what you'll see is this bulge. You'll see my tummy muscles popping out. I'm straining and this is popping out. So it's all popping out here, there's tension there, and I'm feeling it on the pelvic floor. So I want to connect. So my pelvic floor lifts, my head and shoulders lift, I'm drawing the tummy in and I'm here. So what I've got is tension around the band. So if I do that again incorrectly, you'll see, oh, it's pushing out. Yeah, can you see that? All right, and if you hold your tummy in and do that, this is where we get these crunches and everybody tilts pelvises. We've got it like this and we're pushing out. So when we come to do a basic crunch, you think rib, hip connection, tension, lift, small movement. It's about correcting postnatally the fact that these abdominal muscles have been lengthened, so we want to make it small. You breathe out, still with that connection. If I go back to doing it wrong, I'm straining and I'm pushing my pelvis in and down on the mat, and I'm straining those abdominal muscles. So that's what we want to avoid. So when you're practicing some of these at home, just put your hand on your tummy. I often find when I'm training clients is that we can get probably about 3 or 4 correctly, and then we start to get tired and it goes into incorrect movements. So if you start to feel that bulge, you're going to bring your head down. So eventually we start to allow the body to kind of knit back. The tension around the umbilicus comes back in line, and then you'll be able to come back into those exercises again quite comfortably. Okay, so think pelvic floor, that slinger muscle that's been stretched during pregnancy. We're going to lift it standing up. We're going to lift, we're going to step forward because we're going to shift our body weight. The pelvic floor still lifted. Come back in line, drop the pelvic floor. Do that again. Lift, shift your weight forward. Come back and drop again. Lift, shift, come back and drop. One more. Lift, shift, come back and drop. Now, if we go to pick something up, this is exactly what you're going to do. You're going to lift it. You're going to shift. Pelvic floor still lifted. Tummy's pulled in. Then you're going to allow the pelvic floor to relax. Lift, take it down as far as you can, come back for me, drop the pelvic floor. Let's do 4 more of those. Lift, come down as far as you can, pelvic floor still lifted, come back. Lift, shift, come back and drop. 2 more. Lift, shift, come back and drop. 1 more. Lift, shift, come back and drop. Okay guys, let's just